Evening all, welcome back to eveonline. Today, one man is going to do one thing with one account in one way. We're going to just run some anomalies because I've got to admit it's been a hell of a Christmas break. For those of you that follow my work, you'll know that I've struggled immensely to get any time away from annoying, braying family members and friends. Love them all, but really I need a break from them. So it was such a joy to log into Eve and just power it up and go and do something. So we've set it to high settings, doing a little bit of experiment with kind of the graphics card, how beautiful it can look, running one of these Stormbringer, just because I don't really want to think about it. I just thought I'd have a little bit of fun with a ship that I kind of like, but it's really just only for running anomalies. And I think what I'm trying to do is also experiment a little bit with 4K, so your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a very clear video and I hope you enjoy it. So really the topic today is talking about, now that the kind of blur of Christmas is over, I think really one of the things I'm going to really try and think about is, what am I doing in Eve? We're going to talk a little bit about Frontiers. You may or may not know what Frontiers is, but I think it's worth just maybe saying some of the basic things that I can say, because there's obviously an NDA about that. And we'll look a little bit at some of the most beautiful, I think, space combat you'll probably see. So Eve is a wonderfully beautiful game. I know it's kind of getting a bit older now, but I still think it looks rather good. So, you know, don't be too mad at me for just enjoying some of the visuals here. And I think as somebody who quite enjoys space stuff, I do quite like, you know, the scale of it. So, you know, I'm really kind of excited to do a bit more combat and stuff. As the null-sec alliances have done their big reset, I'm probably going to look to start to maybe do some PvP again, so that's really exciting. I've got all this ISK, might as well burn through some of it, and I think that's going to be something we'll start to look at in the new year. Let's talk about Eve Frontiers. Now, obviously can't say too much, but what I will say is I'm rather enjoying it, and I think it's because it is so different to Eve. Okay, so I don't think I've broken the NDA yet, and I'm going to check myself as I go through these. I also get the impression that multi-boxing is not going to be a thing in that game. Can't say why, can't say what drives me to that. I don't know, but something tells me they're not trying to do that. I don't know why, but I just get the impression that that game is going to be very much a standalone, different thing, very much survival. So if those of you who've played The Division, you may remember the Winter Storm survival mode. Well, that was brilliant. It was probably, honestly, it was probably one of the best things about Division. And the reason I liked it was because it had real scared menace depth. It was open. It felt quite intimidating. When you were running around the streets, you felt really vulnerable. And I think everything I've just said potentially could be what I'm applying to this other game that we're talking about. So I think if you haven't looked at it yet, give it a bit of a look. It's very difficult to do that because obviously you have to buy the game to kind of play it. So I think it's a little bit tricky, a little bit catch-22. There are accounts, so what you do is you buy access to the, I guess, alpha, or whatever the state of the game is in at the moment, and then you can play the game. And I think you then get a subscription after that once the game goes live. But believe me, I don't think the game's going live anytime soon. So I think a small investment now might get you a lot of playtime in something good. Now, I'm going to take it all the way back and talk about something unrelated, but is related, which was when Eve started. So when Eve started, you had basically Empire space, as you do today. But all of those regions outside, Delve, Quirios, all the other ones, all of them, the 0, null-sec, were empty. There weren't even stations there. I don't even remember if Stain had stations in when the game first kicked off, or at least when it was in demo or alpha, beta, whatever. I don't think it even had stations there. So the premise is that if you wanted to go and make big money, you'd go to deep space to get some Arcanor. So you would probably set up an Iteron or something really rubbish like that, fly 50 jumps to nowhere, see no one on the way, mine, and then come all the way back and probably not see anyone either. Then things like gate camps started, things started to get a bit more spicy, and the game has just evolved into what it is today, as this kind of incredible moving universe. Now, the reason I mention it is that's very much the feeling I think you will get with Eve Frontiers is, oh my goodness, it feels huge. And it feels almost kind of impossible to meet another player, but you do. And it's the most incredible feeling ever. It really is like DayZ. So again, those of you that play DayZ, huge open churnhouse map, 25 kilometers by 25 kilometers, I think. And you would be out looting and you would be worried about the sniper in the tree line all the time. You have that here. It's pretty compelling. So I think definitely if you've got just a few quid, give it a go, see how you get on with it. And if you don't like it, well, if you don't like, then you don't like it. But to me, it's not trying to be Eve 2.0. It's not trying to take over from this game. I don't feel it is. It could be, but I don't feel it is. It feels like a bit of a punt, a trial, a gamble, to be honest, from CCP, where they're trying to do something very different. So they're trying to be cutting edge, they're trying to be different. So much as they did with Eve Valkyrie with VR, which was pretty good. I mean, I don't know if you ever played that, but I liked it. I really did enjoy Eve Valkyrie. I thought it was fantastic, but nothing really kept me playing it. Whereas this thing, this new thing they're creating, the Frontiers, I don't know, there's something incredibly compelling about it. It feels familiar, and yet it feels very, very different. And I think there's some really quite interesting kind of, gameplay going on there. So that's it, really. That's all I can say. But I do think definitely worth a go, and then make your own mind up. But I think if you like Eve, I can almost guarantee you'll like this. But it depends, because, again, I'll take that statement back. If you're someone who loves to sit on GT44 blowing up newbies, getting PvP, getting kill mails, no, it's not for you. It's probably not going to be for you. Because like DayZ, a lot of PvPers do play DayZ, but I would say it's more for that one kill. They might hunt someone all night, and then they'll get one kill. Whereas in Eve, a little bit similar, but it's more kind of like around, you would probably spend a couple of hours, maybe an hour, maybe roaming in the design that you get a fight within that hour. This feels very different, but again, I do like it. I think it has real legs. But there we go. So I won't say too much more about it. I think when the NDA lifts and we're allowed to actually talk about what it is, how it works, I will be doing videos on it, because already I'm completely hooked. Like, I'm compelled with it. It is really interesting. And I think when you then start getting into the blockchain piece of it, and again, maybe just to allay some fears, and I hope I don't break NDA here, but it doesn't feel like it's a crypto bro project. This isn't Logan Paul trying to trick you into giving him all your money so that he can literally, to the moon a coin and then drop it. It's nothing like that. It uses blockchain tech to do something really quite interesting. And that is, well, I can't really say, I guess, so I have to stop that, because, it is interesting, so I would recommend it, but there we go. In Eve, I think there's definitely so much still to do. So a lot of what I'm focused on at the moment is some of the industry. So I think that's been a real challenge at the moment, is to try and keep all of that industry going. I've kind of given up a little bit. I had a bit of a nightmare as well, because I've just seen Morphite prices. Holy cow, they seem to have hit the roof, which is annoying. I can only assume that's just because less people are playing, so there's less supply. So my hope is that Morphite might drop back down, but currently at time of kind of video production, 100k per unit. That's quite high. So 2,000, which is about what I buy. I usually buy 4,000, but I buy 2,000 to do each run of industry. Yeah, it's expensive. It's getting about half a bill. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But let's see. Hopefully when miners kick in again, people have been off for Christmas, or played less for Christmas, let's say. It would be nice to see that price come down. But overall, I think that's really it. The Christmas event, already kind of forgotten it, to be honest. I had some fun doing it. I found it immensely annoying that every single site you went to was just filled with the same dudes. It felt a little bit botty, if I'm honest with you. I think it felt a little bit kind of like, ugh. And I don't like that. I think it should be more instance based. I think there should be some scanning involved to then do these things, but hey, what do I know? I think the events generally that CCP do, they're very well kind of orchestrated. I mean, they look good. There's some great material around it, but the rewards are rubbish. I don't think they're very good at all. And I think really the enjoyment factor in it is, I don't know, half an hour of gameplay to an hour, and then you're pretty much like, yeah, I'm not going to mind because no, and you just kind of give up. So I think that's kind of something to think about. Is they need to probably make a better event, but I don't know what that is, and I'm not even going to try and like say what that could be, because the reality is, how do you keep everyone happy? It's very difficult. The most exciting thing to me is basically the nullsec reset, although I did watch a video which was labelled most extreme PvP battle of goons versus initiative, and I'm like, ooh, what's this? Click, opened it, and I literally was watching 100 rectangles fight 100 rectangles. Does no one zoom in this game anymore? Does everyone forget that it's like you're in a ship, or is it just literally like blob versus blob, little kind of square bracket group versus little square bracket group? It reminds me of games I played on the bloody Amiga, the Atari ST for flip's sake. So it feels a little bit crap, if I'm honest, and I think that's a shame, because it would be lovely to have a bit more pretty kind of fleet battles. So might try and do some of that, but hey, who knows. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope I seriously did not break that NDA, because knowing my luck, I might have said the wrong thing. See you next time.